Hi, I'm doing another video. Apparently my case is almost closed. I guess the end of August 2015. It'll be 2 years. My daughter's case, actually. So this message is to the OCTOMOM. Nadia, I want to say that I think that you are the most amazing woman and that I really admire you for being able to raise 14 kids by yourself and being a single mom and to be putting your children first before yourself. I think that the doctor that did this is the most amazing man in the world, and I think he should have gotten a medal for it. He definitely should not have lost his license. Okay, since my case and my daughter's case and my son, who was also a target for them, okay, since my daughter was basically arrested and kidnapped on March 19, 2013, because she wanted to do home insemination and she wanted to become a mother, and she was arrested so that she would be sterilized, and they tried to say that it was against the law, and the social worker was crazy. I am offering you $1 million. Okay, I don't have any money now, and that's the reason why. I don't have a lawyer or anything. I can't get any news. I can't get any publicity. But I want to go on a show, and I want to tell my story. Okay, I want to bring my children with me, and I want to put these 13 people behind bars. I need help, and I need you. I want to put this Dr. Montville behind bars that broke the HIP law. This is supposed to be confidential, that she went to see at an infertility clinic, a doctor that sees patients from 9 to 5 days a week, and I guess he's a pussy doctor, you know, does artificial insemination and in vitro. He's an in vitro doctor. Okay, I think that he's got a lot of nerve sending us to see this social worker, Diana Cava, who is nothing but a nobody. Basically, she's got a 2-year degree of college. I mean, doesn't make her anybody. That basically goes around the nursery and decides who's fit to be a mother and who isn't, and puts these people through hell by having children kidnapped out of the nursery and reporting people to CPS so that they could get cash for these kids, because they get $6,000 a head through adoption through the government, and extra bonus money, and people get paid until the child reaches the 18th birthday. So basically, reunification, even if the person is innocent, and they do all of this without due process. Okay, first of all, there are no laws in this country for procreation, and I think people coming and throwing rocks at your house and doing terrible things to a mother as lovely as you, they're just jealous. I mean, I'm too old now, but I would have loved to have raised 14 kids myself. I mean, I think that that is a blessing beyond anything. My mother came from a family of 11, from my grandmother, Geneva Omaselli, and my grandmother on my father's side, who was Scottish, Emma Wiggins, had 16 children. Okay, in the old days, there was nothing abnormal about it. People had big families, and they stuck with their families. Okay, the government, okay, what's happening to seniors and people like me, okay, basically, because I wanted to set up a business on the internet, I went to Voc Rehab, and because I didn't have the money to go to school myself, they were going to pay for my computer classes, so they told me. When the supervisor, I guess, got a call from this Holly person, they changed it around to this Dr. Boots person, okay. This Dr. Boots, that the second judge wouldn't even accept his report. That they had to, the DA had to ask for another one, which the judge threw that out too. Okay, basically, they've got a lot of nerve coming into my house and premeditating this for 1.5 years. Okay, my daughter is an adult. She could do anything that she wants to do. Okay, she's not an incapacitated person, and this person didn't even have guardianship on her. When she went to the Billings Clinic on the 15th of March 2013 so that she could do it herself in home insemination. Okay, it's not illegal. There are no laws that say that she can't do that, and to be holding a person wrongfully in prison for 5.5 months, 161 days, and trying to give them the duration of their life to make sure that they can't have children. My daughter doesn't have children because of this woman. Okay, and the vials, which they were precious vials, it was an excellent sperm donor from the Northwest Cryobank. They were actually straws, were destroyed. Okay, this Tammy woman down there too, who also needs to answer to it, okay, received phone calls from this Holly person, okay. Holly instructed her not to let her know that she was calling and that she was stalking. She should have contacted me immediately. Okay, the straws were supposed to be switched out to vials. And then she told me that we had to go see a doctor. We had already seen that wacko, and he discriminated against my daughter because my daughter is not Caucasian. She's Polynesian, she's Hawaiian Chinese, and the sperm donor was that of Scandinavian. And he was prejudiced. She's allowed to pick anybody that she wants. You know, there are no laws against reproduction or procreation. You know, you can't take somebody to court and force them on birth control pills or sterilize them and lock them up and become their guardian and then run to Social Security and get their money in a paper check. Okay, Holly got thousands of dollars in Social Security. Okay, they said they were using it for her care, but then we found out that they were draining another source for $2,500 a month to pay this Phyllis Russell person. Okay, why should my daughter, because she wanted to become a mother, have to go live at Phyllis Russell's house under the iron fist of Holly Boyson, okay, and not be allowed to leave, not be allowed to call her family, not be allowed to see her friends anymore, not be allowed to go to the movies or go roller skating or go to the Y or go to school or you know, I mean, she went to vocational rehab to go to cosmetology school to learn to do nails and take some driver's ed and get a driver's license. And she was set up by this woman to go see this Laura Wentfield. I just drove her there and dropped her off. And they write up all this stuff. Oh, and in their reports, you know, the only thing that Holly was doing throughout this whole case was protecting herself, okay? She was trying to make me look like the monster because she was protecting herself because basically she wanted to replace me. She wanted to destroy a beautiful mother and daughter relationship because she wanted money. She also wanted my son. She wanted custody of a 27-year-old man who's now 29, a man who shaves. She said that he was 6 and that he needed to be in diapers. A man who shaves himself twice a day. And she had this wacko Julie or Howard coming over there wanting to know if we needed services. For what? They want to come in and give us baths? They want to touch us? They're perverted. Anybody that wants to sterilize a human being, there's been cases all over this country where women have cut babies out of other women's stomachs and stole the babies and murdered people, murdered women that were about to give birth because they wanted the children. And the reason why Diana Cava waited so long before she did this in Montville, they were hoping that Marion would have a child and that they would also get a baby. But actually, we were doing a lot of other things, and even though the vials were there, I don't know, we were busy with other stuff, and it seemed like everything we were doing, it would start out good, and then something would go seriously wrong, you know? And Montana is a terrible place. I mean, they lock seniors up in nursing homes. These people steal their estates and everything from their children. They don't allow them to see their families anymore. They come in and they abuse them. And they hold them prisoners when they have houses and they have sons and daughters that are more than willing to care for them because these DAs and these judges and all these people, this little circle of friends, this little secret society they got going on up there and everything, want all this money, okay? And they need to be stopped. So if you're interested, OCTOMOM, I won't have the money until I win my case, but I would like you to get me on national television. so that we could talk about who these 13 people are. We're going to take the worst of them. There might be more than 13 people, but I think that 13 people would be enough to indict. And since I believe that they're a secret society, I think that we should give the devil his dues. 13 of his people will be taken down. I'm sure that they'll be replaced with worse ones. But I basically don't want to live in the United States anymore. I'm 64 years old. I was a beautiful woman when I was young. And I want to go someplace where I know that when I close my eyes and I leave this world, that my children are free, that they have spouses, that they have their own families. You know, I don't want them, you know, ending up in homes with these people being accused of not being able to manage their own money or, you know, take care of themselves because they're on power trips, because it's the new world government. Okay? There is no child protective service. The people that hounded you and everything, they don't give a shit about your kids. Okay? They're just looking at dollar signs, how much they could get for each and every single one of them. And, you know, I've seen your house, and it's immaculate. And with 14 kids, naturally, you're going to have a lot of laundry one day. Naturally, after you cook or you fed them all, you know, you're going to have cleanup. I mean, that's only normal. People that have 2 and 3, you know, have to clean up and everything. They don't. They're just into their new world order, their government. They don't give a shit about your kids or anything. People are throwing rocks at your windows and everything. Okay? And you are the most amazing woman. You are such a wonderful mom. I really admire you for who you are, because you did it without a man. And you're a single mother by choice, and I think that's absolutely fabulous. My daughter wanted to be a single mother by choice, and her I don't even know if she's a real half-sister, because the woman said that she was never really even her daughter, his daughter, Tiara, in 1985, that she was somebody else's kid. And, you know, this Tiara person is married and has 2 kids. And basically what it is if anything happened to Richard, she'd never be able to do it herself. She'd fall to pieces. Okay? And Donna, too, this person that was with Marion's father that I left in 1985 and moved on and had my son. And she wouldn't have been able to do it by herself with even 1 kid. So that's why I think you're so amazing, because you're doing 14 by yourself. And I think that, yeah, I know people that couldn't do 2 or even 1 by themselves. And I did my 2 by myself. I could have done more, but they were always stalking me, because this woman was always making reports and everything, and I had to be very, very careful. And I had to move a lot, you know, because she's looking for me right now. She doesn't know what state I'm in, and I'm not going to disclose my location. And she's still running her mouth, you know, because they're just protecting themselves. And basically what it is with seniors and the Adult Protective Service, there is no Adult Protective Service. It's just a front. Okay, it's the New World Order. It's the Illuminati. It's to take control of everybody. Okay, it's just a bunch of bullshit. Okay, but basically this case is it was artificial insemination. I mean, and you wouldn't believe, but we never made it into court. They said that I was injecting her, or she was injecting herself with babies. I mean, you know the syringe that they use, that it had a needle on it. I didn't know that you could even inject a baby in a person. And that I was going to do in vitro and bring her eggs down in the house and fertilize them and put them back in her and stuff. Just crazy bullshit. I mean, Holly is like, she's tweet, and, you know, everybody just follows her and listens to her because she's a social worker. She's a piece of shit, in plain English. I want to put her behind bars. I want to sue the state of Montana for $250 million. I want to sue the Billings Clinic for $250 million. I want to sue St. Vincent's for $250 million and the YMCA for $250 million. I need to get into federal court in a change of venue, or I need to go to the United States Supreme Court in Washington, D.C., and I don't need to lose. Because once you lose, you can't fix it. And I want my Social Security. I've been fighting that for 20 years, okay? My child survivor benefits for disability. Before the age of 22, I'm getting a little over $700 a month. It's almost impossible to live on, but I do make it. I'm very good at managing my money, and I have a home and everything else. And I'm supposed to be getting like $1,400. And I've been trying to, I have a senator that's helping me on my case now, and I want to win that. So anyway, the beginning offer is $1 million because, you see, I don't know how much I'm going to be awarded, how much my daughter's going to be awarded, how much my son's going to be awarded. But anyway, OCTOMOM, I want you to get me on a show. I want you to make this public. Okay? We're suing, basically, the New World Order. I want to get rid of the Child Protective Service and the Adult Protective Service forever and terminate guardianship permanently, where nobody could ever do that again. That I have to have guardianship on my daughter? You know, she never had guardianship on her in 29 years. And this woman comes and says, I'm her guardian. She handled it like a CPS case. She took her out of the home, and then 2 days later, the judge signed her up as a guardian. Okay, that's illegal. Okay? You have to petition the court. Okay? You have to get a hearing within 20 days. You can't just take it without a hearing, not guardianship. The person has to come with an attorney because they're an adult, not a guardian ad litem, and they have to consent to it. Okay, they handled this like a CPS case because she's a fired CPS worker. Okay. She did all kinds of weird shit to the kids, and I'm too embarrassed to even tell you what they are, what she did. But anyway, answer me on my YouTube. And it's not about the money, because they came after me for my house and for our checks, and they came after us for our money. I lost my home, my car. I lost everything I owned. I had to leave and run for my life when this case was, when our damn guardianship was terminated by the judge, and the case was closed with prejudice, and the DA wouldn't even write up the final order correctly. Okay? And these people, they need to pay for what they did. And basically, I want to put this doctor in prison. And his little social worker, you know, his little buddy. That's buddy with Holly. And I want everybody in Billings, the 109,000 people that live there, to have their eyes open. They don't need to be calling CPS or APS. That's like giving those kids and those elderly people a death sentence. You know? And mostly, it's usually vindictive people that are just jealous. I mean, somebody called from the YMCA about our income for services, and she's running around abuse and neglect, and then she called back. And who is this person? Because I know that the building didn't call. I know that the YMCA didn't call. And even if it wasn't for the YMCA, that Diana Cava, when we went there to see Montville, okay, this would have happened anyway. Okay, and even if we didn't go see them, it would have happened from the from Special Olympics just playing basketball, which they quit because people were so cognitively low they couldn't communicate with them. And a number of people that I know did the same thing. I mean, and even, I mean, the Lincoln Center, I mean, she was just going around asking everybody to testify against me. Let's find a bunch of people to testify against Holly. Let's find a bunch of people to testify against Lori Peterson Yamamoto. Yeah, people call the supervisor, and that's like worse than calling than the social worker, because she's the worst one. She doesn't care at all. I mean, she'll just, well, a judge saw fit to give us guardianship. Well, you've been running around stalking me for 1.5 years, and you wrote up 16 pages to a judge with a bunch of criminal defamation, and the judge and the DA believed it because you're a social worker, even though there was no witness, and they broke the law and committed fraud and made you conservative of my daughter's money, which they know conservative means that it's basically a nice way of saying power of attorney. That's what it is. So there's no reason why my daughter can't have children. You know, she's going to be 32 years old, and I think it's absolutely horrible that she's lonely and that she wants this so much. And there's no law against it. I mean, she's perfectly healthy. Her sister Tiara had a stillborn, an abortion, and 3 miscarriages. And the 2 that are living had very high-risk pregnancies. One's got asthma. He had to have open heart surgery. He almost died at 3. He's been sick all his life. The other one's allergic to protein. Both these kids have all kinds of health issues, and she was allowed to have them. You know? Why? Because she's jealous of whatever. I don't know if she's a sister or a stepsister. I don't know what she is, because there's no DNA testing on her, and they were never married. And I guess Donna got the estate and all the money and everything, and she's always on Facebook, but she's this big beauty queen, and she's awful looking if you ever saw her in person. But she'd never do a YouTube because then you'd see the truth. So anyway, we could do some work on me. I'd like to get a little Botox and a few things. And, I mean, Donna's done everything you can imagine, and I'd like to get some teeth because when I was in Montana, I had a $50,000 baked on porcelain bridge for 31 years, and they busted it up there and gave me this these dentures, and I hate them, and I want implants, and I want teeth and everything. And we'll talk more about what we want to do with my daughter. But anyway, that's just for starters. If I get $1 billion, it'll probably be more. But I need to get into court. I need lawyers. I need publicity. And I need help. So I love you, OCTOMOM. You are the most amazing woman. And you are a fantastic mother. And I don't know anybody else that could do what you're doing. Okay? And I just want to say God bless the doctor that gave you those 14 kids. Because no matter what they said about him on earth, man, he's going to see heaven someday. He's going to have the highest seat. He is just so amazing, just like you. All right, thank you. So please, get in touch. Let's be friends. And no matter what the media says or the public, you know, of course they would try to destroy the relationship if we do establish one and make one, because they'll be jealous. Okay? Help me win. And I will pay you well. And my beginning offer is $1 million. And you need it for your kids. Okay? So thanks. Can't wait to hear from you.